In the closing years of the 17th century, Great Britain stood at a crossroads, gripped by religious fervor, political intrigue, and the shadows of absolute monarchy. The decade from 1680 to 1690 would reshape the nation, thrusting it from the brink of civil strife into a new era of constitutional governance and global conflict. As King Charles II clung to his throne, amid whispers of popery and exclusion, the stage was set for a drama that would echo through the ages. The year 1680 dawned with the return of Halley's Comet streaking across the skies, a portent that seemed to mirror the turmoil below. In London, the Exclusion Crisis raged on, a bitter clash over whether James, Duke of York, the King's Catholic brother, could ever ascend the throne. Whig politicians, led by the fiery Earl of Shaftesbury, pushed the Exclusion Bill through the House of Commons, arguing it would safeguard Protestant England from a Catholic tyrant. But the Lords rejected it, and Charles, ever the shrewd survivor, dissolved Parliament in a fit of royal prerogative. The streets buzzed with pamphlets and plots. The fabricated popish plot of 1678 still haunted minds, fueling fears of a Jesuit conspiracy to assassinate the king and install James. Across the Channel, Louis XIV of France loomed as a Catholic colossus. Its revocation of the Edict of Nantes 5 years later would drive thousands of Huguenot refugees to Britain, its shores enriching its economy with skilled artisans while stoking anti-French sentiment. By 1681, the crisis intensified. Charles dissolved the Oxford Parliament after just a few chaotic weeks, branding his opponents traitors. Shaftesbury, facing treason charges, fled to Holland, his Whig allies scattered like leaves in a gale. John Dryden's satirical poem, Absalom, and Achitophel captured the moment's venom, portraying Shaftesbury as a scheming rebel against divine right. Yet amid the politics, everyday life stirred. The penny post began in London, knitting the city closer with threads of ink and paper. In the colonies, William Penn sailed for Pennsylvania in 1682, carrying Quaker ideals to the New World, a quiet export of British tolerance that would one day challenge the mother country itself. As 1683 unfolded, intellectual sparks flew. The Ashmolean Museum opened in Oxford, Britain's first public repository of wonders, from Egyptian mummies to exotic beasts, inviting the curious to ponder humanity's place in the cosmos. Isaac Newton, secluded in Cambridge, sketched the invisible hand of gravity tugging at the tides, a force as relentless as the political currents swirling around him. But peace was illusory. In 1684, Newton delved deeper into his Principia Mathematica, laying foundations for a mechanical universe that would soon mirror Britain's own upheavals. Then came 1685, a year of thunder. Charles II died in February. His deathbed conversion to Catholicism, a final twist of the knife for Protestants. James II took the crown, promising to uphold the Church of England, and initially, many believed him. But hope curdled into rebellion. In June, James Scott, Duke of Monmouth, Charles's illegitimate Protestant son, landed in Lyme Regis, rallying dissenters with cries of liberty. His army swelled to 4,000, but at the Battle of Sedgemoor in Somerset, royal forces crushed them in a muddy slaughter. Judge George Jeffreys presided over the bloody assizes, hanging over 300 and transporting thousands to the Caribbean as slaves, a grim spectacle that scarred the West Country. In Scotland, Archibald Campbell, Earl of Argyll, launched a parallel uprising, only to meet the same fate. These defeats silenced domestic foes, but James's overtures to Catholics, appointing them to military posts and suspending the Test Acts, ignited broader alarm. Far away, Louis XIV's dragonnades ravaged French Protestants, sending waves of refugees to England, where they bolstered textile trades and anti-absolutist fervor. The witch hunts, relics of superstition, flickered out in 1686 with the execution of Alice Morland in Exeter, the last woman hanged for witchcraft in England. Yet darker forces gathered. In 1687, James issued his Declaration of Indulgence, suspending penal laws against Catholics and dissenters alike. Newton published his Principia that summer, unveiling laws of motion that govern the stars, even as James bent earthly laws to his will. 7 bishops petitioned against the declaration, and when James ordered it read in churches, riots erupted. The bishops' trial in June 1688 ended in acquittal, crowds cheering them as heroes. But the king's gravest error came in June, the birth of his son, James Francis Edward, baptized Catholic, shattering dreams of a Protestant succession through James's daughters Mary and Anne. Whispers turned to action. 7 peers, including the Earl of Devonshire and Bishop Compton, secretly invited William of Orange, Mary's husband and stadtholder of the Dutch Republic, to intervene. William, eyeing Louis XV's aggression in the Rhineland, saw opportunity. In November, defying storms, his fleet of 500 ships landed 15,000 troops at Torbay. "God with us," their banners proclaimed. James's army melted away. Generals like John Churchill defected. Panicked, James fled to France on December 23rd, tossing the Great Seal into the Thames in despair. The glorious revolution had arrived. Bloodless in England, a velvet glove over an iron fist. January 1689 brought the Convention Parliament, which declared James had abdicated and offered the throne to William and Mary as joint monarchs. The Bill of Rights followed, enshrining parliamentary consent for taxes, free elections, and no standing army in peacetime, a bulwark against tyranny. The Act of Toleration eased burdens on Protestant dissenters, though Catholics remained sidelined. In Scotland, the claim of right echoed these principles, but Jacobite embers glowed. Viscount Dundee rallied Highland clans, smashing government forces at Killiecrankie in July, though he fell in victory. In Ireland, where James sought refuge, the siege of Derry held firm against Catholic besiegers, its apprentice boys a symbol of defiant Protestantism. The decade closed in 1690 with the Battle of the Boyne. William, at the ford near Drogheda, routed James's Franco-Irish army on July 1st, securing Ireland's Protestant ascendancy and avenging Sedgemoor for Monmouth's ghost. John Locke's essay concerning human understanding, that year, championed reason over revelation, fueling Enlightenment fires. But victory came at cost. The 9 Years' War engulfed Britain, pitting the Grand Alliance, England, Dutch, Habsburgs, against Louis XIV's France. Naval clashes like Beachy Head tested British resolve. Colonial frontiers in America, dubbed King William's War, saw raids from Quebec to Schenectady. Economically strained, the war forged a professional army and navy, shifting financial power from Amsterdam to London, and cementing Britain's role as Europe's Protestant bulwark. From comet-tailed omens to battlefield triumphs, 1680 to 1690 transformed Great Britain. The Glorious Revolution curbed kings, empowered parliaments, and aligned the realm with liberty's cause. Yet it sowed seeds of empire and enmity, as French shadows lengthened across continents. In this turbulent decade, Britain didn't just survive, it reinvented itself. A phoenix from Stuart ashes, ready to claim the seas and the future.